Welcome to the Creatives Unplugged podcast. I'm your host, Umhligo, and sila Moveous Media at the sales waterfront. Sesiphinde safika ke laphayana ke namanye ama creatives ke siphethe hawe ma ibeauty ela namhlanje. Siphethe Nqobile Mabizela. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you, Ngo?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Good. Hey, wazwa muhle sis.
Hey. Making me blush.
When they show nje because I'm a model, I must look like this.
Well, it's all courtesy to B, who works with you guys.
With the makeup, yes.
Moveous Media.
Makeup, Moveous Media. Senza abantu babe nje. Leyo lento. So before siqale ke namhlanje, normally you're going to share your journey with modeling industry nokuthi ubani uqhamukaphi, kodwa ngithe nje namhlanje asibe nento especial for ama creatives na wonke umuntu ohleli nathi namhlanje. So mangathiwa nje describe Nqobile in 3 words, what would you say?
I would say I'm a fun-loving person. I think you probably know when I come around, high energy, and I'm very much someone who also is quite chilled and reserved at the same time. So I'm a bit of both, fun, but also still laid back and just love being in my own space. And kind of like, I think really being a creative, you get a lot of people who are creatives and they really are people who like to be on their own because you want to think and you really want to, you know, come up with fresh ideas of how to do things. So yeah, I would say those are ways that I could just describe myself.
Nice. Okay, another one, eliminates one thing in your daily routine. Kungaba yini and why?
I would say it would be having to wake up in the morning and doing stuff. You know, sometimes I like sleeping. I have to be honest. I love to sleep, and you know, now I'm a mom, so it's become even more like you have to wake up and always be on the go. So I wish I could go back to that time when I could just sleep and wake up at 11 o'clock. You know. But yeah.
Nice. Would you like to be a smart or funny person in a room?
I think I'm already funny, so I would like to be. No, I think I'm both. Vele. So I would like go by. I believe I have some smarts and some funniness inside of me. So yeah,
got it both. And then another one, what in life would you a day in life would you like to relive? Mhlawumbe usuku la uthi khona ngaphinde ngithanda ukuphila lolu suku lolu.
This is tough. So I would say the day I gave birth to my daughter. That was the best moment of my life, like bringing this human being onto the earth. I think that was a day I would like to relive.
Omunye ngabe uyasho nje ukuthi yo phela kuthiwa ukuzala kubhlungu. So would you like that pain to come back again?
I didn't feel the pain. I had an epidural, so I didn't feel anything. I just saw that girl popping out. But it was just that moment of like seeing that person that you created just coming out of you, and I think that was a really amazing experience because I also was always, when I was pregnant, I wanted to know what she was going to look like. So finally I got to see this face. So
yeah. So what's 3 things that are always in your bag, on your handbag?
Wipes. Definitely a little bit of perfume.
Yes.
And some gum.
Negum.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, kusulwana ngama wipes.
I'm a lady, you don't ask.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last one, freestyling. Who's Miss South Africa?
I'm not gonna lie, I had to Google that one. You know, sometimes I'm not keeping up. So I think Google said it was Mia LaRue. Yes.
Okay, so, Mia LaRue.
Yes.
Okay. Siyabonga simpheni izandla bafethu. Umqondo uyagijima and vele lama questions ukuthi sazi more kabanzi ngawe. So tell us, where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Durban, born and bred in Durban.
Yes.
I went to two different schools. The
Okay.
first school I went to was Northlands Primary in Durban North, and then I did my high schooling at Durban Girls College here by Musgrave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a Durban girl through and through.
Yes.
I know Durban like the back of my head.
Yeah.
And I just really grew up in a very loving family. Both my
Nice.
parents like raised me.
Yes.
And I have a brother, older brother,
Nice.
and some half siblings. But yeah, I really enjoyed when I was younger, like playing sport.
Oh yeah.
I was very sporty, and I really enjoyed other things. Like, I think when I was younger, there probably were signs that I'm more of a creative person, in the sense that I was like in the choir at school. I did drama even as my chosen subject in high school.
Nice.
So I always liked things that were more artsy in that sense. And even before that, I actually remembered this when I was going to come here, that when I was younger, my mom, like I used to be very like active, but also very like out there.
Yeah.
Like I was that kid who was like, hi, my name is, like very fun, and bingelela everybody that I see in J. So I remember, and I have pictures of this where I actually used to enter pageants. So I always think now that as a model, it was kind of like a look into the future of what I would be doing as a model, even though it was pageant, so it's not really the same, but I liked being on the stage and, like just doing my thing, strutting my stuff, so that was like something that I did when I was younger as well.
With sports, what type of sports would you say Ngangi enjoy mostly? Because of your size, I would say basketball,
No, funny enough,
tennis, or
funny enough, I played netball. So it's quite close to basketball. For netball, actually, I played for KZN and I had full colors in school.
Nice.
For netball, and even got to travel overseas with my school. We went and we played overseas.
Where overseas?
We went to Singapore, Malaysia.
What?
So that was quite nice to be able to do that. But that was my main sport. But I did a lot of stuff. Even when I was in primary, I did like ballet. I did gymnastics. I did horse riding. I did hockey. But when you're in high school, you can't do both. So it wasn't really something I took seriously. So netball was my main sport. But I did everything. I was very active, and I even started like doing gym when I was like around 16, because I just wanted to be fit and healthy. So I always had that idea of like taking care of myself, wanting to always be my best self, so sports did that for me. And I'm grateful to have the mom that I had, who was also encouraging me to be healthy, eating healthy, and just keeping yourself fit, which is important from a young age. I think we should always put that in our children's minds, because there's so many illnesses out there, so you always want to be in your healthiest space.
I hope you still exercise.
Definitely. I think most people know me as like that gym bunny. Like I love gym. Yes. Sometimes I think I used to do it a lot more back then. I used to post a lot on my Instagram of me at the gym, like doing my workouts and stuff like that. So that's something that I used to enjoy doing.
Okay, and then after high school, tertiary, university?
Oh yes. Okay, so after I left high school, first I went to UKZN. And I was like, when you leave high school, everyone's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So I left high school and I thought I was going to be a lawyer. So I studied law for like a year, but it was a lot of reading. And I was like, I was like, no, this is not going to work out for me. So I moved and I decided to do a B-comm in strategic management, and I did that at Varsity College. So I graduated with that B-comm in strategic management at VC.
So you did ELO for how many years?
It was like 6 months. It didn't even last long. You know what? I'm like the type of person, I'm very self-aware. I know what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. So I won't do something that I feel like is going to become a stressor to me. As I said, I'm a very chilled person. And so as also a creative, I like things that inspire me, that I'm passionate about. So I don't want to do something that's going to make me feel like boxed in.
Yeah.
And I felt like that, for me, law would have been something that boxed me in. But with E-comm, even though it is a business degree, it allowed me to learn a lot of different things under that broad subject.
Yeah.
So like I did retail management, project management as my subject. So it was learning new things. Like I'm always like wanting to keep learning new things, different things. Because I would say I have ADD, so I get bored easily.
Yeah.
So I need to always be doing something
Yes.
new. Yeah. So
Ngiyakuthola. Thina sisakhula kwakungekho ngisho i-platform ye-guidance center ukuthi isiphi isifundo ongazenza uma uqeda isikole. So kwakuba into efana nale show uthola ukuthi you end up doing the wrong course for like 2 years to 3 years. Usurealize usufunda 2 years ukuthi kahle kahle lento yazi bengayithandi noma I was doing it because of my parents or kuthiwa umsebenzi uyawuthola uma uba uthisha ukuyibone leyo. So those are my challenges esiwafaceayo when you were lucky because you were like after 6 months I can't take it, I can't do this thing, let me just switch.
But like honestly, Mhlego, I have to say, even with the degree that I did, I like what you're saying, I did it for my parents.
Oh yes.
From when I was still in high school, my passion was to be a singer.
Oh.
Yes, I wanted to be a singer. And even my parents knew I used to sing in the house, and I used to love like Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, all those people. And I remember like I would really be so intrigued by, you know, like the music industry and things like that. So I remember I actually applied to that school in America called Juilliard, because I wanted to go there and do like arts, like an arts degree. And also I applied at UCT, the arts department there. So actually I remember I had a preliminary acceptance at Juilliard, but unfortunately my dad was like, what are you going to do with this degree? And kind of shut down my dreams quite quickly. So I had to opt for something different because of that. Like that would just make them happy. And so I did the E-comm. But there was always that hunger inside of me that's still, like, for me, there was something that I just need to be out there doing something that allows me to be myself, you know what I mean? And I don't think being in an office sitting, was my thing. I think it's not for everyone. So I did the degree, and I remember I did a year of working in corporate for a marketing firm. But I was so miserable. I was very unhappy. I was a little bit depressed, because I'm like, you know, and the truth is that's actually where it started for me. When I was in the office, and I remember I had gone on a trip to Cape Town with a friend of mine, and he introduced me to like this photographer, and we took some pictures. So it was just for fun, for like Instagram, and we took pics. And he was even saying to me, he's like, you seem to like this thing of being in front of the camera. Because I remember at the office that I worked at, I used to take pictures like in my outfit of the day. So I'd make one of my coworkers take pictures of me. Yes, and I'd post it on my Instagram like outfit of the day. So that's kind of where it really started, where posing, like really just sharing my outfit. And then obviously when I went to the trip in Cape Town, my friend had said to me, because I had seen you posting these outfit of the day on Insta. So like when I did the photo shoot, it all just like, you know, kind of started building up something. Because the guy who shot me then, he said to me, next time I'm coming to Durban, let's do another shoot, you know, like something more fun. And he came and we did something. And that was actually, I mean, I don't have those pictures up anymore, but that was like the shoot that really like kind of started building up my profile, even on Instagram, like of people starting to get to know me a little bit, like who's this girl, you know. And then, I'm not gonna lie, after that shoot, I just was never the same again. Even at work, I was not working. I was online, like searching, like, what am I going to do for my next content shoot? Like, where's a good location that I can shoot? And I'm talking to the photographer, and my boss is like, what are you doing? You're not doing any work. I'm like, I am doing work, you know, because my mind is already there now. It's like, I'm feeling this thing.
There's something you like, you want to do this thing.
Because before, I remember people always used to ask me, do you model? But back then, I was like a big girl, thick girl. I never thought like that's something I could do, because at that time when people would ask me that question, it was like you still had the your Naomi Campbells, your all the skinny girls who are obviously more international, who were doing modeling. There was no such thing as plus size modeling.
Yeah.
It just didn't exist, And even when they said it, it was always people who didn't actually look plus size. Like it was like skinny girls who had a bit of curve, So for me, it wasn't a consideration that I could do that,
Yeah.
So when I started doing the content, my initial thing was that I was probably just going to be like an influencer, so when I had done those shoots, people started sending me clothes, like, can you model my clothes for my brand, so I'd do it and they'd give me some money or like give me the clothes for free, and then it just, I won't lie, when something is meant for you, even when you didn't think of it, once you start tapping into it, there's like that bug. It's like when you get bitten and it just becomes infectious, like within you just want to keep chasing that high, So it just was like, that is how it started. It was really random, I'm not going to lie. It was never my thought that I would do this as a job, as a career. So I went and I kept like thinking of new content to do. So for me, it was like content at the time. So I'd look up locations around Durban, and then I would just like start setting up like what would I wear, like just creating the whole thing, the theme. And so there was a guy that I met who was a photographer. So he had just moved from Eastern Cape, Ganiso, and he was also new and he was also passionate about photography. So we were both like coming into the space where we were passionate about something, and we started working together, and we were kind of just pushing each other. Like, he was pushing me to the limits of like trying new things, and we became close friends through working together. Sometimes we'd spend like long hours like going around, driving around, shooting at different spots. I'd sit with him while he's editing my pics, learning different things, as well, because he was also still learning how to edit and things like that. And so that was actually where I really started growing my following, when I started working with him, in terms of, because we're just doing things that were like pushing the bounds in terms of, I wouldn't say it's something like no one has ever done, don't get me wrong, but like really trying out different things, like finding different spots where we can shoot content and making it look not just like average, but trying to make it look more, well put together. So I worked with him a little bit together, maybe for like two years, and then...
Sorry, that time you're still at work?
Yes. Sorry. So, well, initially at first, but then what happened was, I kind of just decided, me and my boss decided that maybe I'm not interested in this anymore. And I kind of left it, like I just left it. And I told my parents, I was like, I'm very unhappy and I just want to pursue my own thing. Like, I just want to do something. My mom was like, I'm so glad because you have been so miserable. Please, like, you've done, like you've tried, you did your degree, you did the work. But maybe it's okay for you to do something that makes you happy. We're going to support you, until you figure yourself out. So that's another thing I'm grateful for, having parents that are supportive and understand me as a person. That they were able to understand that maybe right now I'm not going to be making a lot of money, but they're going to be there for me to help me out, with whatever I need. So I can just focus on really doing this thing, So I left and then I just was like hustling, basically. Just trying to put myself out there. It was a slow go, I'm not gonna lie. I think the saddest thing about Durban when it comes to this industry, like the modeling industry, fashion, there's not a huge market, and not a lot of, there are brands, but most of them would outsource and shoot in Cape Town, shoot in Joburg, you know what I'm saying? So I started realizing that, that okay, maybe here I might not find what I'm looking for. So I started thinking, what can I do? Because I've been using my Instagram as a portfolio, in a sense that I'm trying to put myself out there. Maybe there's going to be a brand that sees me and it's like, oh, who's this girl? And so I was like, okay, this is not working out. So I was looking into agencies and I realized that Cape Town is like popping. There's a lot of agencies there. And, I just kept researching and looking into what do agencies want? What are they looking for? What do you need to bring to the table to actually even be considered to be on their books, And so I was doing the research, but still doing my content shoots, growing my individual brand.
And you're still here at that time.
Yes, as Cocoriana on Instagram, exactly. So my Instagram was growing, and I went from like 20,000 followers, 50,000 followers. Like before I knew it was like 100,000 followers, And for me, okay, it's great to have followers, but it's not just about that. I'm trying to do something. Like I want people to see me as someone who's doing something, and as a model, you know what I mean? Because I don't just want to be an Instagram baddie, like Instagram model. Because, sometimes when you shaped a certain way, people will think of you in a certain way. Do you know what I mean? So I was trying to, when I was researching even, I was trying to look at how can I put myself in a corporate space of being a model, and be taken seriously as a brand, as a model, and I realized Cape Town's the place, because even Joburg is amazing for music and acting, but the modeling scene is more like runway, but not necessarily fashion and e-comm and things like that. So I knew that Cape Town was the place to be. Now I'm like, how am I going to get there? What am I going to do? Like, how do I get there? And then I started researching agencies there. And I remember the one time I was on holiday in Cape Town, and while I was there, I just went around to I ended up going to 2 agencies. One was 20, and when I went there, it wasn't really a fit for me. And then the next agency I went to was D&A Model Management, which is my current agency that I'm working with since when I started. And when I walked in there, just the energy that I received was so amazing when I came in. And at that time, so the plus size modeling thing was booming already now. We have your Ashley Grahams, so many other, even in South Africa, models who are really, or influencers that are doing this whole plus size thing. So for me now, it's this is something that can actually be I see the vision. I see that this is a possibility. Maybe I can do this, So then I went to D&A, and when I got there, one of the things that worked to my advantage was that I came with all the pictures or the content that I'd done on my Insta, and I took the pictures, printed them, and made it into a portfolio, into a book. So one of the things when I was researching I learned was they said, come ready with something to show. Don't just say, oh, hi, I want to be a model, but what are you bringing to the table? How can we sell you?
What do you have?
So I wanted to show who I am, and I did that. So I took it so seriously and they even said, I remember, we've never actually had someone come with their own book ready with pictures. Usually people come, they say they want to be a model, but they don't, even their Instagram is probably not properly showing, it's grainy pics, and so that's something I would say to people aspiring.
That guy, you were preparing yourself, not knowing, because you were used to drive around taking photos.
Professional.
You are taking photos so you can get an agency at that time, or you were figure this thing out, trying to figure it out?
I don't want to lie to you. For me, like I said, it was at the time I was thinking content creator, influencer. I was limiting myself to that thinking, and when I was doing the pictures, like I said, it was sort of a portfolio, but more of bringing in brands as an influencer or content creator, so when I believe that when something's meant for you, sometimes you can be doing things not knowing that you're preparing, like what you're saying, preparing yourself for something greater than what you could even think could be possible. So that's how I look at it now, when I look back, that I was preparing myself without knowing that this is the journey that I'm going to end up on. So I brought the pics with me, and they were just like, wow, we love your pictures, we love your energy, we love the fact that you've taken the initiative, because you want to do this and you're showing that, so they said to me, okay, we're gonna put you on our books, and we're gonna market you to our clients if they're looking for, because basically I'm just gonna give you a short understanding of like how it happens in the industry in terms of you have your agency.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and so you will be on their books. So you sign the contract and you'll be on their books. So they'll put you on their website. You'll have a Z card, which is like a cardboard paper thingy with all your pictures and then your measurements. So you usually take those to castings with you. So when the client wants to see you, you give them your Z card. Then they also take pics of you and like just ask you about yourself. So they put you on their books, and then when a client is looking for models for a specific shoot, they will come to like all different agencies that they know of that they've worked with, and they say, we're looking for models in this age range, this race, size, this type of look. So every agent needs to know their models, that this is the girl that I have on my books who kind of fits that thing. And so they'll send those books of those girls, and then obviously the client chooses which girls they want to use. So it won't always be like girls from, all the girls will be from D&A, it'll be like from Boss, Ice, because even when you're on set, you're working with models from different agencies. You don't know anyone, you know, So I think that's one of the things that people don't understand, how that it works in that sense, that I don't go to a brand and go to like say to Woolies, hey, I want to be on this shoot. I don't have any communication with the brand until I'm on set. So they do everything through my agent, and then I get on set, and that's when I meet them for the first time, you know. So that's how it works. So basically, because I was just saying that to get to the point where when they put me on their books for the first time, when I had like left my book behind with them, literally before I even left Cape Town, I think it was the second day after I'd gone there, got a call and they said, Superbalist wants to work with you. That was literally, for me, I was like, what? I didn't even, because I'm like, I'm not even living here yet. You know, I'm just like, I just came, I thought, oh, I'm just going to do this and see how it goes. And that was like the first job I booked with Superbalist. And at that time, it was like, you know, a big thing. Like, so.
I wanted to ask you, even before you moved to Cape Town with a current employer, khona yini umsebenzi okawuthola this side?
We're in Durban.
In Durban. This was my break. I got paid a very good amount before ngimove and ngithola umsebenzi.
I'm going to be honest, I would say no.
No, okay.
Because you see, with this industry, you need a selling point. And also you need someone who's well versed in the industry to push that selling point in a way that they understand. So an agent is amazing because they know these brands, how they think, how they operate, you know. And so it's different. It's so different being a model to an influencer. I'll tell you why. Because an influencer has to really push themselves based on their following on social media, based on, you know, like if you're a makeup artist, you know, like for example, when you're a model, it's really about the work that you're doing on set in terms of how you push like their clothing, like your look, your overall just energy when you're actually wearing their clothing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like a silent thing that you can't really explain to someone. Because even me to this day, when I book jobs, I'm still like, I don't like understand really what they're looking for, you know, or what they see in me. You know, sometimes we like to downplay ourselves, and we don't always like want to believe that you could actually have something that people want, like, or that they're looking for. And for me, I'm a very I know people always think of me as a confident person, but I am very like shy.
But you are confident.
Well, you know, when I'm used to people, let me be honest, when I'm used to you, I'm very funny and playful, but there's still that part of me when I'm alone. I'm very like self-conscious. Like I don't see myself the way other people see me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I still doubt myself a lot, and you know, I do like think, oh my gosh, do I deserve to be here? Like, you know, I've had those moments when I'm on set. I'm like, I remember when I booked, because one of my long-time dreams was to work with Woolworths, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, as a model, any model can tell you, working with Woolies and SA is like a big deal. Yeah. That is like, you've arrived. So when, and I remember I used to say to my agent, I'm like, you know what? Because she used to ask me, what are your goals? Like, what do you want? Like, who are you trying to work with, you know? And I said, Woolies and Nike, you know, those were the two that I said to her. And I remember the day she told me I booked Woolies for the first time. I was like, we did it. I can't believe we
Nice.
did it. Yeah, like it was
And
really
with Nike, it's still...
pending. Pending, yeah. So it was an amazing experience to reach that goal, because then I knew that nothing was in vain. Like every effort that I'd made was not in vain. Yeah, so.
So you moved to Cape Town. Joburg, what about Joburg? You know, figure out at Joburg. Were you working that side?
Joburg, I've never like, Joburg, I've only been there for leisure.
Oh,
yeah. No, I've never done work in Joburg as of yet.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say there's anything. Like, I think in Joburg, even as a model, the things that one can do there, I think, will be like TV commercials, you know. Because in Cape Town, they do TV commercials. I've done some, like, you know, but it's more for fashion and clothing. But if I were to go to Joburg, it would be probably for a TVC, you know. That's big there, you know. You've seen, like, your TVCs for, like, let's say, for example, Outsurance or... even like KFC, Simba Chips, you know, those kind of TVCs that you see. So that would be something that would be more aligned to Joburg, But really for fashion and clothing, Cape Town's the place to be, because we have models coming from overseas. They know in season Cape Town's the place to be, because there's also international brands that come, you know, from overseas. Like I remember I got a chance to work with an Australian clothing brand called, I think it was Best for Less or something like that. I forgot. But it's quite big in Australia. So they were down here, and then I got to book that shoot. So that was quite nice. That was like a nice introduction into like some international work. And I did another one called Dorina. So it's like a German brand. And recently I did another one for UK called... sorry, I forgot the name, but Scarlett and Joe.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so it's a UK brand. So it's a start, you know. Like, I guess it's because also some of the stuff that I've done internationally, I don't really get to see them because they air internationally, or they'll be in the stores internationally. So sometimes with that work, it is hard to like see yourself like, oh my gosh, you know. So my dream is to maybe go actually and work in the country, like in an international country, and actually work there and shoot there, you know. So that's, I think, the next goal or next step, you know.
So locally, beside Woolies, which other companies we know?
Okay, so as I said, I've done Superbalist, I've done Ackermans, yes, Pep, I've done Foschini a lot. I've done, wow, there's so many. Sometimes it's like hard for me to remember everyone. Like what else have I done? Zando, I've done.
Already, Mabizela, there is that pick. You're going to do formal, you're going to do a sportswear, or kuba kanjani?
Okay, so
because you've explained with the size and shape, they are looking for this, but as far as into zoyiqoka now, baya prepare nalokho futhi as well.
Okay, so this is how it works. So there's two things. There's e-comm, and then there's campaigns. So campaigns is like where, if like for the summer, so like if it's summer, winter, so it's the whole campaign of that actual line or capsule that's going to be dropping. Then e-comm is like your everyday things that are on the website. So like a good example with Foschini, they have the e-comm side where, you know, when people shop on the Bash, because now it's Bash, where they shop on the website. So there will always be, you'll see the models on the website modeling the different clothes that are available in store. So that's e-comm. So that's something you would do like every other day. So you come in, like they could be shooting throughout the whole week. And then there's campaigns that don't happen every other day. They happen on a set specific date that the client and the production team have set for. So the client has they will go approach a production team, and the production team is the one who organizes the whole shoot, finding models, like basically working with the marketing department on what the theme of the shoot is going to be, what the, like, you know, the look and the feel, how this, if it's a studio shoot, the setup, the backdrop, if it's outdoor, the location of where it's going to be shot. And so basically the nice part for us is that all we do is just we arrive, we get our makeup done, and then we take the pictures. You know, we don't have to think about all those things. The clothing's already set. They already know what each model is going to wear.
Yeah.
You know, so that's more of production and client side. For us, it's just more about like getting to set on time, getting your makeup done, you know, and it's also about professionalism. I think one of the things I've learned as a model, and I've heard feedback of just clients and even my own agents saying, you can have the look, you can have the body, you can, you know, be the most gorgeous girl, but if you don't have the right attitude, you can actually lose a lot of jobs. Clients won't want to work with you because you don't have the right attitude on set, you know. And so what I had to learn, and I don't think I had to learn it because it's something that came easy, is that even if I can have a lot of followers on Instagram and whatever, I don't bring that onto set. On set, I'm just I'm here to work. I'm very respectful, always on time, cordial, courteous to everyone. And it's not an act, it's just, you know, being understanding that this is a workspace, you know. So it's not like we're there to play, you know. It's like being in the office, you got to respect your boss, you know. So at that moment, the client is my boss, so I have to, you know, respect that. So it's really about also bringing good energy on set, because sometimes you can just get rebooked off of that, that you are bringing good energy, you're doing the work, you're getting things done on time, you know. So I think that's something that's good to learn.
There's that vibe when you're around.
But I mean, you don't have to be extra. Just be someone people want to be around and work with. I think that's important.
Nice. And then going to Instagram, been shoot around, and then you developed more people liking your page, more. And then there was a part where you had to redo your page. What was happening that time? Maybe if you can explain that part.
Okay, so that was later on, but I did the whole shooting content. Then I still kept doing content even when I had started now working as a model professionally. Because one thing I've realized as a model, you can either be a model like with no face, or you can be a model but still have your own personal brand. So I was still trying to keep my own personal brand, like, so that I know like some models are very low-key on social media, so people will see them everywhere, but they don't really know who that person is. So initially, I was like trying to keep my personal brand where people know me as Cocoriana on Instagram, but then I'm also a model, you know? So there was these two things that were like coinciding with each other. The problem is then Cocoriana became a monster where now people don't really know what I was doing. Like they didn't understand, because all they saw on my page was content. So then I had to start posting more of work, like shoots that I did for work, just to kind of balance it out, that people understand that I'm actually a model, you know, because a lot of people are like, what does she do? What do you do? Like, you know, and so I was trying to take away from the fact of people thinking that I am an Instagram model or an influencer. And there's no disrespect to influencers. That's, you know, they do amazing. But I just think I wanted to be focused on being one thing, and that is being a model. So there's no like, am I an influencer? Am I a model? Because I'm not. I think the difference between being an influencer and a model is that an influencer is a brand on their own, and that brand is pushing another brand. I am a model. I just put on the clothes and I model the clothes. So the clothes are the brand, and I'm just like, I'm like a mannequin, you know, like a faceless mannequin, although with a face, but so that's the difference. So you lose yourself in that sense of you just become a faceless mannequin. So I just kept my Instagram pushing because then I wanted to still be me and be that personal brand. I don't know if that makes sense, but I get you because you are a brand on the side, and then you have Nqobile futhi. So you don't want to mix. Even though they can mix, but it has to make sense.
It had to make sense.
That's
business
true.
And everything.
Because like actors, for example, their brand, who they are as an actor, meshes so well with, like, you know, them with their different characters that they play, you know what I'm saying? But I think even they still, sometimes you hear people talking about the character instead of the actual actor's name. Some people don't even know the actor's name because they know them as the character. So yeah, you have those things where it happens like that, and then people will take things too seriously, you know? So you just want people to get to know you a little bit. But so when you were asking me about when I deleted pics, so that's a whole different story, but it's more of a personal story. Yes, where it was just a journey that I went through, and it's quite recent, you know, where I came to Christ, basically, you know. So I realized when, you know, I became a born again Christian, was that some of my pictures, and it was a personal thing, they were not reflecting my faith anymore, where it was like very sexual, you know. So I had to kind of pull back a little bit on that because I needed to represent now this newfound faith, you know. And I do feel like before I was a lot more out there. Especially with like letting people get to know me too much. So it's such a struggle because sometimes you have to find a balance where people can still respect your privacy, and also you still giving people that thing, like getting to know you as a person. Although I don't know why people are so interested, I'm not sure, but so it's like that kind of balance, because then, you know, in this time, in this day and age, we have like a lot of things like what do you call them, blogs, and you know, they get into like people's personal businesses, and I think because you give too much to people, then they start to take more than you're giving, or they like expect so much from you, you know. So I think that when things start tapping into your private life, that's where I had a bit of a struggle. So I had to pull back. So because then now it's like you're not taking me seriously anymore for what I'm trying to put out there as a model, you know, because I've always been someone who posts more work anyway than like my personal life or anything like that. So I think that now I'm just trying to be more professional and just keep it like very work related and things of that nature.
So I'm trying to find out ukuthi leyo eyenzayo i-modeling ibizwa ngani. So bengifuna ukuthi explain wonke define lama types of modeling.
So how I define myself is as a fashion model. So I do fashion, like clothing, so stills and video of clothing. But I know like a model in my agency, for example, who's an amazing model, and he now has branched out into acting. So it's not to say that you're closed off, because even my agency can represent you even when you're doing acting. You know, when it's just that at first, initially, my first passion is just putting on clothes and making them look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like where I flourish the most. I've tried tapping into TVCs. I'm not gonna lie. I did an acting class. My agency set me up with this acting coach because they want me to start doing like TVCs where, like what I was saying, like outsurance, where there's more acting than just posing. You know,
like an advert type of thing.
Yes. So I'm still working on that because I don't know why I get so shy when it's like now I have to like remember lines, and then it's like I forget the lines. And funny enough, when I was saying, remember how I was saying that I wanted to be a singer, I actually used to say to myself, I want to be a triple threat, like a singer, actress, and a dancer. I don't know because I can't dance, but at the time,
in a song,
I wrote a song once that I did with. It never came out though. Never came out. I did it with this other well-known DJ here, and I'm not going to mention names, but he was a friend of mine. But I think it never went anywhere because I think like then the modeling thing came, and then I kind of just like took that more seriously. But like it was a good song that I did. It was more like a venting song, you know. I was going through a breakup, and I was like, you know, I was in my feelings. So I did that. You know, I won't lie, I still love singing.
Yeah.
I sing at church. We were singing at church. We did a concert for Christmas, and they asked me to be on stage, and I was singing there.
Come on, sing for us.
Oh my, like my voice is not warm right now, guys. On the spot.
One chorus.
Okay, right. Give me a song. Okay, like I don't know. I can't think right now. Okay, there's this other song. Okay, this other song I used to like.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Okay, please don't judge me. I'm not the sort of person who falls in and quickly out of love. But to you I gave my affection right from the start. If I have a lover who loves me, how could I break such a heart? You still get my attention right from the start. Why do you come here when you know I got troubles enough? Why do you call me when you know I can't answer the phone? You make me lie when I don't want to, and make someone else some kind of underwear fool. You make me stay when I should not. How could you? Sorry, I lost it.
Listen. I have a production, so I want to sign artists.
Well, you never know.
Yes, I sign off band. Yes.
Thank you.
What an amazing voice.
Thank
Mina ngitshela ukuthi usho lokucula ko cishe ngathi ko B. Eshaweni uthi Yes, actually, you got the voice.
Thank you.
Yo, pula njengomunye umntwana la ekhaya engengigama.
Thanks, guys. But yeah, I think maybe. You know, you never know. Anything is possible. Yeah.
It's
so,
crazy.
Yeah.
Uba umotivated for you ongathi nje ngiyamthanda this person, I look up to this person with the
modeling.
Yeah, with the modeling.
I always say it has, I mean, she's not South African, but I say this because she was really the person who put plus size modeling on the map.
Yeah.
And just her energy is, I'm not sure if you'll know her, Ashley Graham.
Oh,
yes. So there were a lot of plus size models before her, but what I liked about her confidence, the way she carries her body and the energy made me feel like it doesn't really matter. It's not about perfection. It's about you giving your best. You know what I mean? And I do definitely think she inspired me because she was the person that made me actually really take it seriously and pursue it and see that there was a market now for plus size models. So that gave me the confidence to do it.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking even something else right now. Would say, Nama model, and you are out there, you are exposed with media, social media. I bet abantu abathatha advantage in doing crazy stuff because sometimes I think it can be risky.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
I think with any job in the media, entertainment industry, I think everyone would have some stories to tell, you know.
Yeah.
For me, one thing I've been lucky with is having my agency as like an installation point where everything to do with bookings, no one can book me directly.
Yes.
They have to go through my agency. Funny enough, I remember my agent was like, what is going on? I keep having like all these men like sending me emails like, I want to book your model. Because I think I had my agency's email on my profile, and they're like, but every time I follow to follow up about this email, they're like, well, like, they seem very shady and you know, like it seems like some kind of weird. So like I said, it's such a great thing for me because everything is so professional.
Yeah.
There is no incident of where anyone can say, you know, I need to sleep with them to get this job. Like that, for me personally, has never happened. But I think many models will say, unless it's something you're doing on your own, I don't know, like if they're trying to do like, that's why I say it's so different because with influencing, you know, and I'm not, please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything about influence. I'm talking about the whole situation where they are basically pushing a lot of the stuff on their own. So it's so much easier for people to take advantage of them unless they have a really good manager, you know. So for me, there's a whole, you know, corporate engine behind me of my agency, like making sure I'm protected on set. They're always checking up, like, is everything okay? Was the food okay? You know, like, did you have any issues? You know, they make sure. And if there were issues, you tell them and they follow up and they make sure everything is done accordingly, you know. So, you know, because they have lawyers there and everything. So if there's anything illegal, you know, you're protected. As soon as you sign that contract, basically you're protected legally in every facet, you know. So that is why I think it's such a good idea. If you're going to model, get a really good agency that's been around, that's reputable, that is known in the industry, you know, because there are a lot of fly-by-night agencies. And that's another reason why I avoided Joburg, because those are a lot in Joburg. A lot of people can tell you, where you get agencies that sign a lot of models but never book them jobs because they claim to be an agency but they don't have any industry experience. They've never worked with real big brands, you know what I'm saying? So when you're looking for agency, you want to look for the top agencies that have been at least there for 10 years, at least minimum 10 years.
So how can you tell? How do you see? It's tricky. Right?
It is tricky. I think when I first was searching, I look at their page. You look at the quality of the page in terms of how it's curated. Secondly, most agencies, when they post their models on their page, they post the work that the models have done. So I look at all the models, what kind of brands have the models who've worked with this agency done? Have they worked with big brands? Have they even done overseas jobs? Things like that. That's important because that work speaks for itself. It tells you that these people really do know their stuff and they put their models out there. Because the nice thing about, I don't know about other industries, as a model, especially at my agency, I'm not really sure about other agencies, I'm not gonna lie. The agency doesn't make money if you don't make money. So when I work, they make money. So they have to make sure that you're booking jobs, you know, because they don't make money off of you and they can't make money off, like, I know I've heard stories of managers where, you know, they'll charge their artists like a fee. So whether the artist is booked or not, they still have to pay the manager that fee. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't work like that with us. They get their fee on every job that you get paid for, that you've booked, you know. So I think that's quite fair because then you see that they're booking these jobs for me. So it's fair that they get their share from the jobs that I'm booking, you know. So that's another thing you look at. No upfront payments, like where they say, oh, you have to pay us like 1,000 Rand to sign with the agency. There's no such thing. Literally, you sign with the agency, they sign you because they want to sign you. The only fee that you pay, and it's not even when you sign initially, is it's like an admin fee, but that is at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, they take their admin fee. Maybe, I don't know, I don't want to talk too much about this. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say, but which is just because throughout the year they have been putting you on their books. They've been like you know, doing all the admin relating to your portfolio and things like that. So, you know, that makes sense, you know, that like that that admin fee, and then obviously their fee that they take. So I think that's some of the things to look for. I'm gonna be honest, I don't want this to sound weird, but I look for an agency that enabelung, and I know that sounds wrong, but I've just had this experience with it's not to say it should only be white people. Please don't get me wrong, guys. It's not a racist thing. I'm just saying that
it's sensitive right now. We're trying I'm a target market, so we have to be careful.
Okay, I'm sorry. But with that, it's just a personal thing for me.
No,
you know why I say that? I've noticed, and I say it's a personal thing, because when I've had situations when I was still hustling, where people were promising things like helping me with like just like certain things in terms of I can introduce you to this person. I've just had bad experiences with abantu bakithi, because sometimes Tina asifuna abantu like, you know, and siyathanda ukudlala ngabantu bakithi, angazi noma that makes sense. So I wish for us ukuthi supportane. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I wish as thina abantu bakithi singasupportana and show love to one another. Ungathi mina fanele ngize ngiyobheka abelungu, because I don't really want to be like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes thina siyamonezelana. Siyamonezelana. So into engangiyisaba ukuthi angifuna umuntu ozongifaka kuyinto where ngigcina mhlambe sengiyithola traffic, you know, because I think that's the biggest fear my mom had. When I first told her that I'm going to go into modeling and things of that nature, she was just like, I don't know about these things, you know, like you hear stories of people to go meet at this place and then girls go missing, you know, and that is scary. That is a thing to think about. And I think it's bigger in the modeling industry, even more than in maybe other industries. So I think that was also something I had to be aware of when I was looking what is real and what is not real, you know, what is a real offer. So I think there's a lot of things to consider before even thinking of yourself, I want to be a model. Consider the factors of, are you in a safe place? Are you working with people who are professional? Are you working with people who are going to not just be using you as a slave? You know, like you know, you have to be mentally prepared, because you know, I think a lot of people can attest to this who are in entertainment in general. You can lose yourself a little bit in the hype, in the rush of things. And if you're not careful and you think too much of yourself, you might get lost in the sauce a little bit. So you need to have a good head on your shoulders, a good support structure. You know, family, whoever's around you must be people who are level-headed, who are going to tell you when you're wrong, when you are, you know, not like focused, you know, so that's important. And that's why I love my agency, I'm not going to lie. It's not just like, oh, I'm just a model there. They're like family to me, because you know, they will check up on your well-being, your mental health, like how are you doing, like how's everything going, you know, if you need anything. So that I think is also important when you're looking for agency. You shouldn't be like a number or like cattle, you know, like you have to be, it has to be like home.
Someone who on a value.
Yes. It has to be like being at home, like a second home for me. But obviously you don't want to be too comfortable, you know, because then too much comfortability, that also can have, you know, a bad side to it, you know. So you just want to be right in the middle and really find people who understand you and know that you're a human being, and what you want as well must be important, and what you need, you know. So, and I've been lucky because, you know, sometimes you'll have your bad days, and I just, when I have my bad days, I'm not my best, and I'm not like having the energy to work. So I can say, like, you know, today I'm just not going to take that job. You know, it's not even like I don't need the money. I do, but you also have to be mentally, like fit. Because I've been on set, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't okay. And I remember on a set I wasn't okay, and the photographer's like, are you okay? Because I've worked with them before, and they were like, are you okay? I'm like, why? You just don't look like yourself. And I was going through a tough time then. So, you know, as a model, it's so different. I think with actors as well, because you it's like when you wear your heart on your sleeve, it also shows on camera. So you have to be mentally healthy, because being in front of a camera and being out there is not easy. People judge you harshly.
Big time.
People want to put you in a box of how they see you. And I've experienced that. And that's where I think I started becoming even more self-conscious, because people think when you're a model, you have all this confidence. But I actually became more self-conscious the more I grew in my career, because now I feel like I have to be perfect all the time. I have to keep up this, way that people see me. I don't know, like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think I lost myself a little bit in that because I felt pressure to always be like, you know, like to always be. And even when you don't want to be, you have to be. Yeah. So it's not easy. And you find then people end up getting depressed, and we get situations where substance abuse becomes an issue. And I'm not gonna lie, I struggled, not like heavy drugs, I did like weed because I was like struggling to cope. I needed an outlet, you know, but it became like too much of an outlet where I was depending on it. I'm not embarrassed to say I did find myself in that position because I felt like every day it's something else, you know. It's like work, pressure, it's like the whole social media landscape, you know, like it became a lot. So I feel like now where I'm at, even as I got older, I'm so much more at peace, like, and accepting of myself, like just being me and being comfortable in my skin. I think when you're in your mid-20s and like early 20s, you just like want to impress everyone, and you know, you want to do what pleases other people, and it also depends on the personality, of course. But now I had to learn that you can't always please everyone, you know, and not everyone's gonna like you, but you just gotta keep doing what you're doing, you know, and be true to yourself. And so
No, thank you very much. Wonderful insights, siyabonga kakhulu. So in closing, mabefuna ukubona your work, websites, or any sites, enisebenzisayo, and I'm sure, of course, you're going to send us other pictures that we can just show to abantu babone ukuthi umsebenzi wakho muhle kangakanani. Ngiyakhumbula ngike ngangena kuyona website yenu. Hey, ngathi akwena kweminye imisebenzi. Ngathi uBeyonce lo waphesheya. So please share the websites with abantu, and in closing,
Okay, so the overall like
the name of the
agency. So my agency's name is D, like the letter D. And so you know that and and A, so D and A, yes. And it's not, so it's not D&A, it's D and A, yes. So if you search D&A Model Management on Google, and then you can go into the website, then you go to like the that thing that you press and it shows you all the options, and then there you go to models, then you go to women, then you go to curve, because I can't remember the exact link for my specific page right now because I don't have my phone, but so if you just go to curve, so you go models,
so curves,
so because they don't say plus size anymore, they just say curve. So if you go to curve, and then you just click, and then you can just find, so my name there is Coco. It actually used to be Nqobile, but then everyone on set keeps calling me Coco, so they're like, it's confusing when you're on set, like they're like, who's Nqobile? And I'm like, it's me, Coco. So I'm like, okay, let's just do it like this.
Other name about Riana.
Okay, so Riana. So my name is Nqobile Riana Mabizela, and then Cocoriana is just a name that I kind of came up with because in high school they used to call me Coco. It's a name that came up. It's a long story, but so ngase ngayihlanganisa ngisaqala Instagram ngathi I want a name nje yabo ezo moyihlanganisa ezoba like ne legacy or longevity yabo into kanjalo nje so ngathi Cocoriana, I don't know, it just stuck like that, so that's
Siyabonga kakhulu Cocoriana.
Thank you.
Nqobile Mabizela.
Oh, and that's my Instagram. Cocoriana. Yes. Okay.
Siyabonga kakhulu namhlanje sijabule kakhulu Creatives Unplugged. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ngiphinde nje ngibonge ngconcoze, and isifunda okukhulu about modeling ne-agency yakho ne-journey yakho nje isiyonke. So ningakhohlwa bakwethu ukuya ku YouTube and press subscribe, and mawufuna ukubona i-company yakho noma ngabe yini oyenzayo advertiser la kwe-Creatives Unplugged podcast, you can email us at moveousmedia1@gmail.com. So sesiyavalelisa ke nama creatives asithi bye bye.